What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to your new moon in Aquarius energy report. Wow. So this takes place on February 11th. Real quick, congratulations to my homie, Nicole Fontana, for guessing the previous vibration of the last video. What was it, you ask? It was intuition. Intuition was the vibration. So now, what is this vibration? Guess this vibration, and you'll win a free reading with me. Also, 30% off astrology readings right now. Go to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. When you order a reading, I will respond to the confirmation email when you purchase the reading, okay? And then we schedule it from there, one-on-one, okay? When we do a live Zoom recording so we can connect, all right? You can ask questions, and then I send you a copy of it so you can watch it as many times as you want, all right? Try to hook you guys up as much as I can. So also, if you're interested in joining the Opportunity Community, download my free ebook, Decrypting the Language of the Human Body, and come check us out every Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific. It's amazing, bomb.com, level up and show up, and yeah, let's do this. So this energy in February, especially for this new moon, 23 degrees. So we have yet another new moon. I think this is the fourth or fifth one in a row at 23 degrees. 2 + 3 = 5, which equals change, which of course we can all feel the very deep and, fundamental, like at the cellular level, like the atomic shifting going on in our consciousness. Very, very powerful right now. We have Mercury retrograde at 16 degrees with Venus and Jupiter conjunct during this new moon at 12 degrees, which is incredibly powerful. We have Pluto at 25 degrees. We've never seen Pluto this far before. I mean, not in our lifetime. And we have Saturn here sitting at 6 degrees of Aquarius. So we have here, I'm gonna pull up the chart here, and I'll bring this back in a little bit so you can see the background again. But this is February 11th at 11:04 a.m. Pacific. So we have the nodes now at 17 degrees. They finally moved from 18 to 17, moving away from that square to Neptune. And Neptune is moving forward, into the third decan of Pisces again, getting pretty close. We have Uranus now at 7 degrees. So now Uranus is moving forward. And whenever these outer planets move into new degrees, it's like the deeper shift really kicks in. It takes place, especially after it's already been there, gone retrograde and coming back. This is like finishing and sort of evolving, right? So that's exciting. We have Chiron at 6 degrees here. Mars is sitting at 18 degrees. So Mars square Mercury retrograde. Not a whole lot of fun there. This is a lot of frustration, a lot of like going over stuff in your head, and between Aquarius and Taurus, this is like head and heart decisions, or this is like, am I gonna go with the decision that's best for me or best for everyone, right? Like you may be caught up in a situation like that. That's kind of difficult to move through. So if you're going through a situation where you have a decision and you have like two very difficult sides, like it's like two piles of shit. You don't really have a great, answer. You need to sit with that and wait until what feels 100% right comes. Do not make emotionally impulsive decisions right now. Okay, sit on it and allow it to take its course. And whatever feelings come up, a big part of that process is allowing these things to come up and letting those feelings coming up teach you. This is part of the learning process of the Aquarian energy. And what's interesting is we do have Black Moon Lilith here retrograde in Taurus at 26 degrees, square to the new moon. So the sun and moon are at 23 degrees, Black Moon Lilith at 26 square. This to me is like this deep desire to just break out of the shell, right? And Mars is not too far off from there. So there's this big, like super deep shift or change that we're all wanting in our life. And with this new moon here in Aquarius, it's asking us to think outside the box. It's asking us to dream a bigger dream. But with this dream, it's saying like, okay, if you have this vision, say you're a visionary, right? Like you always have these visions, but you never know how to make them come to fruition. All All right. It's time to bridge that gap. It's time to be like, okay, this is my massive vision. Okay. Now, how do I create the steps? Okay. And if it is too far fetched, how do I close that gap? And how do I really figure out how to get from step A to step F, as opposed to always thinking about step F and having no idea where to even start, right? There's, with Neptune square the nodes, there's been this big, like, I want to do something new. This, all this new stuff is just happening so fast and so intense. We don't know how to get there. We don't know where to go. The old way of doing things is sort of dead, really, right? And this new way of doing things is coming up, and it's almost like we're trying to keep up with it, but we have to make sure, like, we cannot go this alone. This new energy requires interconnectivity. It requires interdependence. So if there's any kind of codependent energy, especially emotionally, okay, that shit's getting brought up right now. With this Mercury retrograde, you're looking at like codependent issues in business, with money, with like codependency is essentially, anything that we attach to because we're afraid to look within ourselves, right? So we get attached to money, we get attached to the grind, we get attached to being a certain way, thinking a certain way. We can get attached to porn, we can get attached to love, we can get attached to our thought process, we can attach to suffering, anything at all, okay? And the attachment is anything that brings our life out of balance. So, doing something big, and it's not inherently bad or good. We make it bad or good through our emotions, through our own approach to it, through our own subjective perspective, our own prism of how we process this energy. Okay. So this is where we're doing a very like healthy detachment and feeling it and seeing it and really seeing deeper. Now we have to embrace this, but in order to embrace this, we must be in our heart and feeling inside our heart. If we're not feeling inside our heart, it's going to feel very uncomfortable and it's going to feel like it's not right. Okay. So out of your head, into your heart, which is, with all this cerebral energy going on, it can be a little overwhelming. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, all right, it's time to just get on the sound lounge. All right. Vibroacoustic sound lounge, do a sound bath. There's some kind of frequency or vibrational healing, and the Age of Aquarius, all about vibrational and DNA, vibrational, vibroacoustic type of healing, very, very customized and specific. All right. So we also, during this new moon, we have Jupiter and Venus conjunct, the luckiest love day probably of the year. All right. This is beautiful. And in Aquarius, this is all about our relationship to money, our relationship to community, our relationship to the world, our relationship to people, places, things, our relationship to our vision of what we want to create in the world, right? Seeing and bringing abundance into the community and around the people that we love. Now, with this being activated right here at 12 degrees, 12 is 12 a master number? I'm not going to get to the numerology because, to be perfectly honest, I don't quite remember, but that's okay. But with this new moon here at 23 degrees, right? We have Mercury right smack in the middle. So it's sort of speaking to the new moon, but it's also sort of speaking to Venus and Jupiter conjunct. So we have these two conjunctions and this cerebral energy connecting to both of them, saying like, it's time to get up. It's almost like this feels like if it was a vision in my mind of how this is playing out, this is like you're in boot camp, right? And like, and you go to sleep the first night in boot camp and you're terrified and you wake up and somebody put acid in the water that you were drinking, right? And then you wake up tripping your brains out and you wake up to like a dominatrix and like whipping you, let's go, let's get up. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And she's like, are you ready to play? Now, it's unexpected. And you're like, well, I thought I was in it is boot camp. All right. But this is a different kind of boot camp. This is a boot camp where you expect the unexpected. This is a boot camp where you do not control anything. You allow things to flow from your heart. So if it feels right, you go into it without reservation. but with solid boundaries. Okay. So this is where the dominatrix is going to guide you, and you know, you're going to have some fun, but it's going to be challenging. The biggest challenge is going to be if you are trying to control it. Okay. So stop trying to control it. I hope you guys got a good visual from that, because I know I did. So we still have this square going on too. All right. So, yeah, let me see here. I want to see where, yeah. So Mars is square to the moon, the sun, Mercury, and Venus. Ouch. Chiron is semi-square to the new moon, and Black and Lilith is square to the new moon. Now the North Node is trine to the moon, the sun, Mercury, Venus, semi-sextile to Mars, and trine to Jupiter. That is, it's okay. So with all this energy going to the North Node, all right, North Node in Gemini, this is beautiful. All right, it's gonna, of course, like I've talked about this before, this is very chaotic energy. Okay, cerebral chaotic energy can be very fixed, but it's literally like a cord, an energetic cord pulling us into our future, into where we're meant to go, and we can feel it like that. But it's like we're being pulled. We're like, and it's almost like a part of us is like, well, wait, I need to take this. I want to take that. They're like, no, you can't take your attachments with you. You just gotta go. Let's go. It's time to go, right? So it's like pulling you, and so it's best to just, you know, surrender to it and just allow this thing, allow the energy to guide you. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to control it. Don't try to do anything. Don't try, just feel. Be. The more we feel and the more we're in our beingness, in our present state, in the present moment, because this energy is coming out so fast from so many directions, that is the most efficient way that we're going to be able to really move through this. Okay, because this is a very intense chaos energy. So we could take into account, you know, chaos theory, like, or, you know, the butterfly effect, or like there's a very butterfly effecty-ish kind of narrative going on right now. And whatever seeds that you're planting, you need to, we really ought to be very mindful of the words that we're saying, the energy that we're putting into our words, the energy that we're putting into our thoughts, the energy that we're putting into our emotions. This is where awareness of self is so important. Because especially Aquarius, all right, Aquarius, like things are manifesting so fast, right? And we're learning karmic lessons so fast. So as we do that, we must be aware and be ready to adapt to all this crazy newness coming on. So if you're attached to one thing and there's something coming over here and you're like, I don't understand that, I'll deal with you later, you're gonna be missing opportunities, okay? This is our opportunity to grow, but we have to learn to sort of think in a new way. Now, I will say, I'm going to read the inside degrees for the degree of 23 degrees Aquarius for this new moon. And this will sort of, you know, like sprinkle some fairy dust on the understanding of the energy. All right. It says ancient runes carved at random on gray rocks. Learning ultimate things the hard way. You have to put yourself totally into every realm to experience it for yourself, with the zeal for empirical wisdom or the wild edge of the scientific method. The experimental test case is yourself, and you are out there all alone in vast uncharted territory, just the way you like it. You've been granted the chance to prove things, to follow them out quite far, bearing a determined intelligence with karmically trained faculties of subtle perception. However, objectively speaking, this is an intensively arduous and relentless way to do it, without safeguards or precedents, relying upon the moment's edge. If you can be tirelessly strong, doing it this ruggedly will prove to be the only way to go if you wish to uncover future territory without imprinting bias or distortion upon it. You just have to invent the wheel in yet another dimension. So that feels a little cryptic, but that is kind of what Aquarius is all about, right? So really, what this says to me is that we are identifying, we have carved out this deeper part of our consciousness. And this new moon is highlighting that new part of our consciousness, right? So this is us understanding how we want to step out in the world as an individual, but simultaneously how we're connected to the collective. Okay, so we are identifying our individuality on one end, and we are identifying how that relates to everybody else on the other end. Okay, and the more that we can step into this part of our newness and accept it and allow it, feed it, right? Like a plant, you gotta water it, you gotta feed it, but you don't want to overfeed it. You have to let it sort of take its course and allow it to blossom organically. There can be no forcing. You try to force it, that's control, and control is gonna set you back 100%. All right, so sitting with this chaos, allowing it to help you understand how to process and understand your energy in a whole new way. All right, and with that, your energy will start to flow in a new sense, and you will begin to feel more abundance in your energy. Now, abundance comes in many forms, right? Abundance can be abundance of love from the heart chakra. Abundance can be money. Abundance can be food, right? Abundance can be, like a good, solid community. Abundance can be happy thoughts. Abundance can be anything. Whatever is abundant for you is unique, because we filter it through our subjective prism of consciousness, and then we create that for what we feel. Okay. So this energy for this new moon is sort of like, the day is February 11th. Okay. But the energy is rippled out throughout this month. This month is very powerful and very transformative, because it's all the planets are converging this month, and then they're separating as we go on, and we're taking this changeable energy, and then we're going to start to implement it and grow it and flourish it and plant it all around everywhere from this point forward. This is the month, this is the new moon that really kicks it off and starts everything. Okay, so step into your truth, find the patterns in the chaos through stillness. And that may sound like oxymoron or a paradox, right? I get it, but that's how it's done. It works. The way the energy works is opposite to logic. It doesn't make logical sense. And when you start to feel it, you start to get into it, you start to understand this. Really, the way that everything works is actually backwards to what the ego does. Okay. And this is like mastery energy, guys. So keep it simple. Keep it simple and get the foundation. This month is really all about mastering the foundation. Okay. After this month, after this new moon, then we start to build upon the foundation, but it's going to come to us. We don't have to go out and chase it. There is no more chasing. There is only manifesting. Okay. And we have to know, each one of us needs to know and understand the subtle nuances and differences of what that means for us, because, we all have a tendency to chase in certain ways. We all have a tendency to want to push and want to go after, right? So we have to keep ourselves in check. Now, that's not inherently bad, but when we do it, too much, or the chaos can carry it away from us, right? And then suddenly we're at this place like, how the hell did I get here? But when you're conscious and you find that stillness in the chaos, it's like you're in there's a tornado of thoughts, of energy, of vibrations going around. You find yourself in that center. And this is what really they teach in meditation, and even, different practices of mastering the mind. You find the center of that tornado, right? So that you can see all the chaos around, but you're standing in the center of it. It's still, but you're able to observe. So you're still, you observe, and then you choose what to connect to. You connect, you do not attach. Okay? And you are making a conscious choice every time. It's when you're not consciously choosing to do it, and you're sort of like, oh shit, what's this? Oh my God, I don't. That is where we get lost. And I talked to so many people that struggle with that, and I used to struggle with it too. So if you're interested in finding ways to navigate that process, I can help you. Okay, get a reading from me. I got you. And on that note, I'm excited to see who gets this background. I hope you guys have a wonderful Aquarius new moon. And I will be seeing you all beautiful people in the opportunity community and on the next report. Aho.